And I meant to make this video at night, but this just popped in my head. But anyway, what's the most haunting thing, I've ever did? Now, right now, if you watch YouTube, you'll find people, because they want to make a viral video, you'll find them going to haunted places all by themselves. Yeah, real scary places, haunted. You know, it's all in the name of a video, but they're going by. Sometimes they take somebody with them. But I did something way before that. This is back in 1984. Let me think here. 1984, yeah. I was 22 years old. I think it was at the end of 84. But anyway, it was 12:30 at night. It was after midnight. My mom was still up. She was watching a movie or something on television. Dad was already in bed. Now, I knew of an isolated cemetery that was supposedly haunted. And all of a sudden, I tell my mom, I get my car, I have my car keys in my hand. And Mom says, "Where are you going?" So I'm going to a cemetery. I'm trying to remember, I don't think it was Saturday night. I think it was on a Monday night. I thought it'd be more haunting. I was wanting to be by, I didn't want nobody with me. Now, back in those days, it was safer in those days. But anyway, Mom said, "Who are you taking with you?" I said, "I'm not. I'm going by myself." That kind of startled her. She said, "Well, you better have enough gas." I said, "Well, when I went out to the store for you, remember? She wanted me to go to the store for her. So I stopped and I filled my tank up. Psychologically, you really don't want to go nowhere. Even a half a tank, you don't want to go nowhere by yourself, middle of nowhere at night, with a half a tank. You want a full tank of gas. It's basically, half a tank's plenty, but it's all psychologically. Anyway, she said, "Well, be careful." And so I tell you what, the drive, it wasn't a gravel road till about the last mile. Just an old cemetery. When you come in an isolated cemetery, a lot of cemeteries are posted closed at dusk. This one was posted nowhere. I heard it had been haunted. I just wanted to go out there. And I had a bright flashlight. Anyway, I finally get there, turn the engine off, kill the lights, get my flashlight out. Man, was that creepy. I just was wanting to do it. Crazy, I know. I walked around about a half hour looking at creepiness. It sounds, oh. Then I stood there for a minute, turned my flashlight off. Pitch black. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. I thought, God Almighty. If if something happened, my flashlight went out, I'd never found my way back to the car. And I knew the general direction, because I looked at my car. I seen my car. But if my light went out, you got to remember, back in those days, there was no LED. It was all crappy bulbs with a filament. If I would have dropped that light and accidentally hit a tombstone, it would have, and I've did this before. The fragile flashlights in those days was fragile. If I would have dropped my light and that filament would have broke in that bulb, I had no light. I knew the direction of my car, but I probably would have broke my neck getting there because of the tomb. It was pitch black. So I turned my light back on. Oh, I tell you, it made you nervous because you didn't want to. Matter of fact, I didn't walk around tombstones in case I would bang it. Not just drop it, just banging it accidentally against a tombstone could break that filament in that light bulb. Oh my God. So I just walked in front of him. Didn't walk to the side. I didn't want to bang my flashlight on. It's too dangerous. Well, I walked around about half hour just looking at real creepy. You'd hear in the woods. You listen. Scary. I would not do that today. No way. The world's just too bad today. Even with a group of friends. I'd go with a group of friends, but that was in 84. The world was less dangerous in those days. But I stayed about a half hour, and when I got to my car, I thought, it'll be my luck if the thing won't start. It was a good car. It was a Plymouth. Good car. 318 V8, V8 318, small block. Good car. But when I put what made me more nervous than hearing sounds in the woods, when I put my keys in the ignition and went to start it. That scared me. That is one thing that horrified me. It had been about a 3.5 hour walk. Oh, that scared me. I'm not making that up. I didn't lock my car because I had a little trouble with my when I'd lock my door like I go to the store. It got where it didn't want to quite unlock. You had to play with it a little bit, so I didn't want to do that. It would unlock, but the tumblers was trying to get a little messed up. The tumbler, so I did not lock the car. No. But anyway, when I put my keys in the ignition to start my car, I thought that made me nervous. Now that, for some reason, your car not starting, that made. I was so nervous I was actually shaking. I thought, when I stuck the keys in the ignition, I thought, please start. That actually, it almost scared me to tears. I never had no trouble starting before. It just I was by myself in an isolated area, which is dumb. But like I said, in 1984, it was safe enough. But still, I was by myself. Damn, I didn't want to walk. Actually, before I hit the ignition, went to turn it on, I said a prayer. That actually made me nervous. It started right up. Tell you what, when it started up, hearing that engine, I tell you what, it's like the world took a ton of weight off my chest. I don't know why I was worried. I never had a good motor, never had no trouble starting it. But I had a little trouble unlocking the tumblers. When I lock my door and go to unlock it, like I go in the store, the tumblers having little light trouble unlocking it sometimes. Most time it unlocks smoothly, but sometimes them tumblers didn't want it to agree with each other. Of course, that had nothing to do with the engine, but it was just the psychological effect of it. I was at a cemetery. Then it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. Pitch black. And it just, matter of fact, I didn't turn no lights on. I kept my flashlight on until my car started. That's how worried, nervous I was. Please start. Tell you what, there wasn't nothing.